and welcome to the July update of the Charm to Table garden. I'm excited to show you all the flowers that are in bloom. I think the last update looked like a construction site, so now I actually get to show you some pretty flowers. So come on in. This is our sunflower row. You can see all the sunflowers popped up when I was on vacation. And we're about to take them over to the Flower Boys Indie, who are going to sell them in their flower shop. And okay, oh, I'm so excited. I don't even know where to start. This is the zinnia row. I think last time I pointed to it, it was like maybe 2 or 3 leaves per plant. But now we've got these really magnificent, you can see these big red double bloom zinnias. And they're all over here. And then we've got these really pretty pink ones. They're so cute. We added an extra row since the last video in the front. My really nice boyfriend helped me rototillage. And I have sunflowers of lots of varieties. Ageratum, Celosia. So those will all be fun to see pop up. We have other like bright pink, kind of like salmon pink zinnias. I probably should talk faster since we need to keep going. Okay, this one is one of my favorite zinnias. It's a like maroon with some white tips. You can kind of see it. I really like that one. It'll get bigger. And then we have, okay, these are the Gladiolas. So I had Gladiolas of red, pink, and purple. And right now we have lots of whites. So all the whites came out this week. And then there's a little bit of phlox and African daisies and straw flowers are mixed in here. I think you can see one of the African daisies here. Let's see if I can. So this is one of the African daisies. The center of it's bright purple and the backs of it are purple. And then there's some Benjamin buttons, some white and pink. And then I guess you can kind of just look over here. We've got watermelons growing, cucumbers. This is the food pantry lot. So all of the peppers now have peppers starting to grow on them, and tons of cucumbers. We started a bunch of zucchinis and okra, and the sweet potatoes that came in the mail that I thought were dead actually came back to life. So they're starting to grow a bit here, and eventually, I hope maybe in the next month's video, they'll vine over the whole fence that we put up there. All right, so let's keep going here. I haven't gone on vacation, so these things have grown a lot. So eventually I will Velcro these to the side and there'll be a really pretty arch. I'm gonna do another video to show you what this garden looks like in the nighttime, because my sister put up all these twinkly lights for me and it's just like a magical place now. So yes, come back in here. This is my pepper grove. There are giant peppers in here that should be ready like maybe in the next couple weeks. Every one of them has peppers about that big. And then this is our tomato row. We put a cute little fence around it, and then we use twine. And what you do here is, it's the University of Maine discovered this method, but these are indeterminate, which means they will grow as long as they're staked. So you can tie twine around it. The main stem, oops. Gardening is about making mistakes, so. And the twine, just be more gentle when you do this. The twine will help it trellis all the way up, and it'll grow up as tall as that and more. Last summer it was even taller. So if you want to cut over this way, I can show you what's in here. This is the, oh look, all the flowers. They're like stars. These are different types of gourds and pumpkins. And the gourds and pumpkins, as they vine, I'm gonna Velcro them up around the gourd tunnel. And then the little pumpkins will drop down. So as you can see, they already have these big star-like flowers. And then the pollinators will go in there and pollinate the pumpkins. Okay, over here we have our lettuce garden. So we got a bunch of arugula, baby kale for salads. This is butter crunch and beets. Lupine doesn't like to grow very well in Indiana, but I did get a lupine little flower here. So that was really exciting. Grew that from seed. And then there's this sunflower that came back out of nowhere. I didn't plant it, but it's about to bloom. You can kind of see it's right there. I think it's a mammoth sunflower, but it's kind of that big question mark. And then my husk cherries. So you could, oh my gosh, this is so happy. Okay, come close, come close. Okay, these are ground cherries. Ground cherries, they start off in this little lantern, and then when they're ripe and ready, they'll drop to the ground. That's why they're called ground cherries. And you eat them and they taste like mango pineapple. This is my favorite thing in my garden. That is a weed forest that will soon be cleared out to be cabbage roses. They're called, it's a variety of kale, crane roses. And then this is the bean trellises. So since the last video, we actually got some wooden stumps in the bean trellises. And so the beans are now vining up this and will create a nice back canopy. And then, so lesson learned, don't put lemon juice on your beans or they will look a lot like this. I mean, these are brighter colored beans anyways, but I put lemon juice to get rid of ants. But the secret to that is actually putting the lemon juice on the ground, not on the leaves. There you go. And then this is our herb circle. Don't mind the mulch, we're adding some mulch here. But we've got different varieties of mint, oregano. This is stevia. If you take one of the leaves, you can put it in your smoothies. The way to find out it's sweet is not to just put it on your tongue, but to bite into it. And then you'll taste the sugar on your lips. Then we've got some other types of herbs growing up. Over here we've got cosmos and marigolds. I think the marigolds have one of the prettiest lacy looks to them. So this is like the marigold row. Marigolds are really good for keeping deer away. Hasn't worked for me, they're still getting my roses, but theoretically. And then these are cosmos, double click white and pink, and then purity one. These are my white sunflowers. I'm going to fertilize them so they can get a little taller. They're supposed to be a little bit taller before they're budding, but you know, we'll figure out why. And then these are different varieties of Celosia and pampas plume. These are all of the filler flowers for the garden. It's actually kind of a fun time to see these. This is Gomphrena. It looks like a strawberry on top. And these are fun for filler flowers because you can cut this and it just adds a different texture to your bouquet. And we've got one more thing. Oh, those are going to be red sunflowers. So this whole thing back here is sunflowers, but those are going to be red sunflowers. And then this is going to be French Provence sunflowers. And bells of Ireland are coming up. And those take a little bit longer. I think I forgot to mention my favorite thing in my garden, which is these dahlia rows. So as you can see, the dahlias are getting bigger and they're about to bloom. So once these bloom, it'll be a lot of cutting and a lot of processing the flowers, but it's going to be so many beautiful bouquets. And this is one of the early ones that I had. These are more the decorative ones just because I wanted something that was early blooming. So these won't be used as much in bouquets because they're not as long. But one of the things I did want to share is dahlias, if you keep cutting them, they will keep blooming. So if you have a really tall dahlia, cut it really low near the two leaves, and then it'll grow from there new flowers. So you'll have continuous blooms. If you don't cut them, then they'll go to seed and they'll trigger the plant to start to go dormant. So cut so that you have more. That's why it's a cut flower garden. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so excited we finally have flowers to show you and to sell. And now we're going to be doing some sort of, I don't know, stay tuned to Charm to Table so I can tell you what we're doing, whether it's Saturday morning U-Picks or Saturday morning at the farmer's market. I'll let you know. Thanks so much for joining.